Welcome to Hashtag Narrative, a Football Manager podcast where we sit around the virtual campfire and recount stories from past saves. Finally, he is back. The myth, the man, the legend. Kev, hello.
Hello. It's really troubling me, and I've only just noticed it, but now it's really bothering me that you said podcast rather than podcast.
Sorry, I say bath as well. Is that going to annoy grass? Is that really going to bug you?
We're not having a bath together, so that's less of an issue, but we are doing a podcast together.
We are. Podcast. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm back. Hello.
Hello. Right. Okay, now we've got that out of the way. We are joined by the Northern Tones of BoodFM. Hello, Dave. How are you?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm good. There we go. There are those Northern Tones. Brilliant. I think you are the first. You are the first Northerner that we've had on here.
You've had a lot of posh voices on and all that.
I wouldn't call Benji posh. In fact, I wouldn't call. I wouldn't.
Aren't you Northern-ish?
No.
I thought you were from up north somewhere.
We've just established he says podcast. He's about as southern as you get.
Yeah, true.
I did have resided in the northwest for a while, but
whereabouts?
Are you familiar with a place called Ormskirk?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yep. So I lived there for a while. Well, just in a little village outside of it whilst I was at uni. So people can probably guess where I went to uni now. So that's probably more information than I was willing to let out. No. Actually, no. Saying that, I used to live near Loughborough as well. So I've lived pretty much everywhere in the UK. I say the UK. England.
Ormskirk and Loughborough, just about everywhere.
I went to an awesome party in Loughborough University. I went for a weekend to see my mate. It was amazing.
What year was this, Bood? Because we've actually touched on a subject that I was going to put into the intro, but now you've kind of prompted it to come out here.
I'd say it was before I met my wife anyway, and I've been with my wife 12 years.
A while
I'd say
ago,
about 13, 14 years ago. Yeah. It was wicked though.
See,
really good place.
This is a very rare situation for Kev, where our guest is actually older than he is.
Yeah, I am old. I don't look it and I don't sound it, but I am old.
I like it. I'm on board with it.
How old are you, Kev? How old are you, Kev?
I'm 34.
Oh, yeah, I'm well old. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was listening to you talking to Golden yesterday, and you were talking about, I can't remember which player it was, Matt, but you were saying that when he gets to a certain age, you're going to feel old because I think you're the same age as him.
Yeah, Cesc Fabregas.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's me. That's long gone. The players my age have all retired pretty much. So.
Oh, it's sad times.
I'm older than my team's current manager.
That's terrifying. That's equally as terrifying.
So I'm now officially. I think I am anyway. Grant McCann is probably roughly my age, so I'm officially old enough to manage Posh now.
See, I would say that you look in better nick than Grant McCann does. He looks like he's had a very tough paper round for about 400 years.
But beards age people, don't they? I think you've got a beard, don't you, Kev?
I've got a beard.
When I've seen you on there.
But he's got a strategy behind it.
Yeah, it's coming off on my 40th birthday, so people go, "Oh, you're looking young." Well, would you believe it's my 40th birthday? But I look so young, don't I? This face hasn't seen the sun for 20 years.
You're going to have these ridiculous tan lines, aren't you?
That's one of the reasons
you've got a reverse beard.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I can't ever shave it and I can't ever get contact lenses, because I'll just have such a weirdly tanned face where I have my thick plastic frames and my big bushy beard. I might do it 1 August, just the end of August.
For charity, you like your charity stuff.
Yeah, glasses, eyebrows, beard, it's all coming off. Let's see what's under all this. It'll be amazing.
You know,
crumbs and stuff.
I was going to say, unearth some gems that you've been keeping there for years.
Midget gems.
There's no way they wouldn't get eaten.
Midget gems, they're a throwback. Are they still a thing?
I think so, yeah.
Right. Anyway, should we get on with the Football Manager stuff, as that's why we're all
let's
here?
Do it.
Good. See, these intros, they get longer and longer as we go on, which is, it's not bad. It's nice to have a little chat. Anyway, so, first question, Dave.
Yep.
Where did your obsession with Football Manager first start?
Well, I've loved you. You're younger than me, but you're a computer geek and all that. So, do you remember Spectrum? Do you remember Spectrums?
I inherited a Spectrum off my uncle, so that was my first ever game console / PC, if you could even call it a PC.
Yeah, I had a Spectrum. I had a tape deck. You used to have to load. Your games were on tape. It took about 4 days to load.
The dream. It wasn't the dream. It was the complete opposite of the dream. It was an absolute nightmare.
The noise it used to make was insane. But I had this manager game on it, and it was really basic. Had all fake names on it, like I don't know, Mark Pews and stuff like that. And me and my mates used to play it, change all the names, and it was just really basic, and I absolutely loved it. And then for years after that, I used to think I'd love to play a game.
What was that game called? Because you might be the if it was Kenny Dalglish Soccer Manager, you're the only other person in the world who I've met who played that game.
Was Marseille the best team on it at the time? I remember Marseille.
But that was my first taste of a football management game, and no one else has ever even heard of it. But Kenny Dalglish Soccer Manager on the Spectrum was brilliant.
Yeah, it was awesome. And for its day, it was mint. So I wanted to play a game like that for years, and I just never had the computer, I think. And when I went to college, I got a job in a supermarket. And my boss came in one morning knackered, and I was like, "What's up with you?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been trying to sign Del Piero all night." And I was like, "What are you on about?" Anyway, he told me about the game. That was it. I went straight, bought it. It was 97-98 Championship Manager. And then that was it. I was hooked. Played it ever since. Every year I've played it. Just absolutely loved it. So yeah, that was it.
See, my Spectrum story, I was unfortunate not to taste that, and to be honest, I had my favourites on the Spectrum were Chase HQ. I don't know if you ever played that, Bood, which was like a police car chase sort of thing. It was
Spy Hunter. Do you remember that?
I do remember Spy Hunter. It was on one of the tapes that would never load properly though. So you'd sit there for an hour waiting for it to load up, like, reading the binary data off the tape, and then it wouldn't bloody work. That and Spitfire was another one that I used to love, but used to die within like probably 3 minutes of loading it up. Takes an hour to load up, 3 minutes to play, and then another 3 hour loading time, another hour loading time. So kids today moaning about like, oh, it takes 15 seconds to load up this level. Why don't you all piss off? Because I'm not having it. Like, seriously. An hour. What are you supposed to do with an hour when you're 5 years old? You're waiting for like 3 minutes of fun, and it's like.
Well, if you were me, you'd be flicking through your exercise book, planning formations, and deciding who you're going to put on the transfer list. I had shelves full of exercise books with all of my notes in for my management stuff. It's only in the last 2 or 3 years that I've stopped keeping books full of stuff about my saves.
Oh, Kev, I still do that. I mean, you probably don't watch my stuff, but I'm always going on about my pad. I've always got a pad writing.
The only reason I don't have one now is because it's all on a spreadsheet now, so that I can put it on Dropbox and move it between my computers. Yeah, I upgraded like 2 or 3 years ago, but yeah, it was exercise books and notepads for 25 years of playing this game.
I think if your work involves anything to do with an office and you haven't written a tactic or players' names or something like that down, or like potential scouting targets or whatever in a work related item, then you're not doing it right, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You do get obsessed. I mean, I'm always writing stuff down, ideas and what I do and tactics. I mean,
and then it never bloody works.
Doing it for years.
Back down to square one again. So,
but it's crazy.
So, what was your most favouriteest save? What was it, and why was it your most favouriteest? I mean, you've done a couple on YouTube. It doesn't have to be on YouTube now because you've got Huddersfield at the moment, and then you started last year. In fact, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, you've mentioned this about 8 times now.
I've never publicly addressed it, but you stole my idea for FM17 before it even came out. You sod.
I did, yeah. I didn't actually know, though, did I?
No, you didn't. I am merely jesting, but you're a bastard.
Yeah, thanks.
You're the reason why Recreativo's a thing.
I've been planning this for months.
I hadn't quite got to that stage, but it was like top of the list. Oh, that's such a great story. Like non-league, dropped right down the divisions, and no. Bollocks, right? Anyway,
it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Well, I work in Stockport. I drive past it every day at Edgeley Park, and it just stuck in my head. I thought, if I ever do one, I'm going to do them. So that was it, and that was a lot of fun. That save, I know it's my first YouTube series, but it was just amazing because I got to know the club. Then I got to meet a director. I filmed a couple of episodes live inside the stadium, which was mint. When you just got a tiny little YouTube channel and they let you come in and treat you dead nice and. That was crazy, I'll be honest. So that was a lot of fun. But if I'm honest, my favourite.
If Southend United are listening, by the way, if you want to return my emails at any point.
Do you know what? Anyone out there, honestly, these little clubs, just ask them. That's all I did. I just emailed them. That was it.
I would go to Spain, but yeah. It'll cost me more to get there than it would to get into the ground, I think.
Look, I've committed myself to flying to Italy or Argentina at some point to get this bloody shirt signed. So, that's...
What shirt have you got?
I've got a Southend away shirt that I want to get signed by my League One title winning team. And I've emailed Southend and I've emailed a few of the players. No one's got back to me yet, but I've got to assemble this bunch of players who are all... 2 or 3 of them are in the Chelsea youth team at the moment, but there's one of them who is Argentinian and is currently on loan in Italy, but only until the end of this season and doesn't speak a word of English. So I'm trying to start with the easy ones. I've asked Southend, I've bought your shirt. Please, the 2 players who you currently have who are in my squad, can I get them to sign it? And I've heard nothing back. So Southend United, if you are listening, look what Stockport did. See.
Yeah, Stockport they were awesome. I got a shirt cheap. It was mint, yeah. But my favourite ever save, if I'm honest, is my first ever save. Because it's the one I remember everything about, and I've had thousands since and forgot. But that first one was amazing, if I'm honest.
But why?
I've compared it to like. I was saying it to my mate the other week. It's like, I've never had heroin, but when someone has heroin and they have that first hit and they always say, "Oh, you got to chase that dragon." That's what it's been like for me ever since. I've had this amazing experience and it's been good ever since. But nothing's ever been the same as that first time for me because it was amazing. I loved it.
But so. What made it particularly? Is it just because it was your first hit of the addictive drug that is FM, or variant of?
I'm a Man United fan, so I took over Man United, got sacked really quick, ended up at Leicester. I found 2 regens. One was called Ivan Yankov, a Bulgarian.
That's
Roy
an
Keane.
incredible name, and
it's amazing. The other one was called Kleberson with the C. He was Brazilian. He was like Paul Scholes. And I got him into the Premier League. Then I went to Everton. They came with me. And it was just... I've never forgot it. It was so much fun. So, yeah. I still get tingles when I think about it.
Are you gutted that so was that... Oh, that was a save on the Spectrum, was it? Or was this...
No, Champ Manager...
Oh, this Champ 98. Manager. I was going to say...
I was 97, 98, yeah.
Because that was the thing... it was a belated question that my mind has just asked myself. And obviously I don't have the answer, so I've got to relay to you. But how did you save on that? Because that's just... I have no idea, because I know that it was pretty much a one-time deal as far as I was aware with most of the Spectrum games I played. So would you just have to keep on playing until it crashed, basically?
That game I'm talking about then was my Championship Manager 97-98, but on the Spectrum, no, you couldn't save it.
You got a code, I think, in Kenny Dalglish.
Me and my mates when we used to play it, we used to change them. You could change the names, and we'd do that every time. We spend more time changing on the names than we did playing it, which was weird, really.
I have a strong recollection of getting a code that I think it was the reason the notebook started. You'd write the code down, and then the next time you loaded it back up, you put the code in, and it would... Right. I guess there wasn't much complexity in the way of players and stuff like that, and it maybe just brought you to the right point. Or
so is it a bit like
really primitive? But
I was going to say a bit like how
basic.
Sort of normal game saves, or say saves, but I remember playing James Pond on the Mega Drive, and you used to get a code at the end of every level.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing.
That sort of thing. Right, cool.
Oh. But do you know FM Life, Troy? You'll know him, Matt.
Yeah.
The Aussie guy. He found a picture of it, that game, and put it on one of his episodes ages ago, and it just took me back. It was really basic. Yeah, I'll have to dig that out. It's somewhere online, but really basic.
Thing is, I've looked for older games or screenshots of players from the older games, and because it's sort of pre-proper internet age, there's so much there's so little of it. It's really hard to. I was looking for Dwight York of all people the other day just to see what he used to look like on some of the older Championship Manager games. Couldn't find a single image of it. Lots of him with Jordan and saying about him impregnating her. Not appropriate for my search. Thank you very much. So, did you have any sort of favourite players? I suppose you've mentioned 2 of them, 2 of your regions, but were they your favourite players from that save, or were there any others? Or have you had any other players that maybe have not been in that save, but you've absolutely adored and had sort of an affection for subsequently, just purely because of Football Manager?
Yeah. Well, I've never really been into actual Wonderkids, and a lot of people do, but I've always liked when I've got a few years into a game. And you get into the regen stage, and I love regens. I'll be honest, because you get this player, and no one else has got him. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be he's totally random to your game with some random name, and I like them more. And I had one guy once. He was a young Nigerian, I think he was half English, so he ended up becoming English, and he was just insane. He was like the best player I've ever seen, and I've never seen anything else like him. He was like Maradona. 20s everywhere. He was just fantastic. I think it's called like Sano. His second name was Sano, and yeah, he was brilliant. I remember him, but yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's. Can you remember how much he cost?
Not a lot. I got him dead cheap. That's what I mean. I got him from somewhere. That's what I like. Them little regens you find yourself, who have, you get them don't cost you a lot of money, but end up becoming worldies.
I think
they're my favourites.
I remember one in one of my own saves from years ago. He was called Rob Cousins. I signed him for Barnsley. And I found him in Ireland, just complete.
Was he a regen?
Yeah, he was a regen, yeah. But he was Irish, but had a weird spelt surname, like Cousins with a Z. Just like, what are you playing? Right. But yeah, he wasn't quite on the level of your Maradona-ish, but he was somewhat special. But we'll revisit my history later on, because this is your turn to talk about your stuff. So. Would you ever be tempted to go back to any of your saves that you've played?
No,
not at all.
No. I mean, I'll play Football Manager up until its last day, and as soon as a new one comes out, I never go back. I don't know. It's like what was it now? The other week, right? I was at my mum's and we were sorting out. Well, and I'm going old again here. Do you remember VHS tapes? You'll know what I mean. And we were sorting out some old VHS tapes, and I found a VHS tape of a film
Before we continue, Bood, just for the younger members of the audience, they're the things that came before DVDs.
Yeah.
They're the things that will be collecting dust in your loft now, and they're the things that have probably got pictures of you when you were teeny tiny, and you probably don't have something to play them anymore. You can carry on now, just so that the kids understand what we're talking about. Yeah, because some.
Yeah, I'm old.
Well, I know people that don't know what a tape is.
See, that's crazy.
That is like
I spent every weekend bloody taping the top 20, pressing pause and recording between the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you get right to the end and you say, "And it's getting cut off at the end."
Yeah. That's totally illegal, basically.
Yeah. They're never going to catch you, though, are they? Not in that day and age.
But I found there's a film. I don't know if you ever watched it, called House Party with Kid and Play.
I don't think I've seen it.
The little friend. Oh, do you remember? Have you ever seen Bad Boys with Will Smith?
Yes.
Who's the other guy in Bad Boys?
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. He's in it. It's like his first film he's ever in when he's young. And when I was a kid, I used to watch it over and over and over again. I thought it was the best film ever. And then I watched it my mum's the other week, and it was the worst. It's the worst film I've ever seen in my life, and it's ruined my dreams of how good that film was. So I won't want to go back to like the old game because it's just going to be so basic. And to go back to your other episode with Golden, you were talking about if you play mobile now, it's like if you want to play an older version game, just play mobile. You said, didn't you? It's very similar.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. It's too basic. I tried mobile a while back, and I love how the game's developed and how much more depth it has. I like that.
I think it's sort of personal, like preference, really, isn't it? If you I suppose it depends on what you go for in a save. If you're going for something that's going to be quick that you can play through and bash through a season in a day, then you'll go for a more basic thing that you can do that with. And if your time allows, because I think that's sort of the audience that SI were attacking or going for when they decided to go for that, not just for the mobile.
My friend plays that. He loves it. He just plays the mobile one because it's easy. He doesn't want to mess about with all the little bits. He just says it's too much now. He don't like 2D match engines. He don't like that either. So he's a bit old. He's older than me.
Oh dear, 1940s birth.
Yeah, nice one. I don't feel that old until I started doing this and you realise how many young people do it.
Yeah, I think you existed sort of pre-internet, didn't you?
Of course I did. Yeah, I was born in the 70s.
Dear Lord. Oh. How does that make you feel, Kev?
Very happy.
Yeah.
It makes me feel great because I've recently had a rather young person start at work. Born 94. Ridiculous.
Wow.
94. How can that thing be an adult?
Yeah, that's
insane,
is
isn't
it?
No, it's not. Well,
I work with someone who's a teacher who was born in the 90s and he's married and he's a proper grown-up and all sorts, and it's just I don't even know how that can be allowed. He can't be older than about 9, surely.
No, my brother's the same. Both my brother and my wife were born in 1990. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we know what.
So your wife's quite. You got a young wife, haven't you?
I'm not that old either. There's only 3 years difference between us. So.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not old yet.
You had the same paper round as Grant McCann, didn't you? Goodness me!
Wow, shots being fired here. Cheers, Kev.
It's all right.
When are you going to be ill next?
I'm still ill now. Don't you worry.
Well, this is.
Do you know what? I never get ill. My wife's pregnant at the minute, and since she's got pregnant, I keep getting bugs all the time. I'm always ill at the minute. I've been ill twice in the last month. I never get ill. So I don't know if it's because she's pregnant.
Maybe it's because you're getting old and you've reached that point now of no return where like that's it. Like all your chances. It's like the people that are like skinny throughout their whole life, and then as soon as they hit 40, you're like beer belly, like massive
that's
everything. Me. You know, they just can't. Like the metabolism just like stops in its tracks. Like, I've got a mate who will eat like extra large pizzas on his own, like a sharing dessert for one. All of this. And doesn't put an out. In fact, he loses weight eating that sort of stuff. I hope when he hits 40, that's it. Poof, everything.
Yeah, it does happen. You know, I mean, I'm 6'3", and I've always dead skinny. But as I've got towards 40, I have got chubbier. And yeah, the worst thing is drinking. Like, it takes me about 3 days to recover now. That's the worst thing.
See, this is why I tend not to, because it probably takes me about the same amount of time. Like you just sniff a pint and you're like, oh, I've got a headache. Leave me alone. Yeah. Darkened room. Right. Well, we've got one more question, unless Kev's got anything to add at this point.
At the moment.
Blimey. At the moment. Now, it's a bit of a sour note to end on, and you can plead the fifth and not choose not to answer. You can choose to pass on this question. But if you're man enough to front it, then fair play to you. Have you ever been sacked?
Yeah. What, in real life?
No. On the game. We don't.
No. Yeah, both. But no, yeah, I've been sacked. Well, I was sacked by Man United after a week on my first ever goal. But no, I've been sacked a few times. I'll be honest, I was thinking about this because you sent me the questions, and the last time I actually got sacked was on FM 13. So I've been sacked for a while, I'll be honest.
Who were you when you got sacked?
United.
You were United, and
I'm always United. I always start off as United, and I either do really well, or I'm average, or I'm rubbish.
So basically, all across the board.
yeah, pretty much.
I haven't been sacked for ages. It's been like a week at least since I was last sacked.
So yeah, just a question for you: do you do the same whenever you get the new game comes out? Are you always a team you support first, or to avoid that?
I was until I started YouTube. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. I haven't since I've been doing YouTube. I don't really have time for an offline save anymore.
I don't. That's what I said to someone started recently, and they were asking me questions, and I said, just be prepared that you love this game. Be prepared to not play it anymore, because you won't. You don't play it the same. By now, I'd have been 10, 15 years into a save me, loving it, loads of notes. I'd have built a youth team. I'd be thriving. Whereas now, I've tried an offline save, and I just can't do it. And all my spare time is doing my series, prepping my series. And you can only play so far. Probably the same thing for you, but you can only play so far, and you've got to leave it because you've got to film an episode. And do you know what I mean? It does take away the fun in a way, but it is also fun in itself to do. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're a massive show off like me, it's much more fun gadding about in front of a camera. It's just an excuse to gurn onto film. That's all it is. Yeah, I like
onto
to
film.
Onto the camera.
Onto film.
Yeah, I do it onto tapes and then transpose it across that way. Is that not how you do it? The amount of time it takes you to do a bit of editing, I assumed you were drawing all the episodes and then animating it.
All right. At the moment, I'm not doing too badly with this daily content, Lark. Before you carry on with your shot phone,
that's got to be hard, especially because you do quite a bit of editing, don't you? Like your intros and stuff. That can't be easy.
Yeah, it's at the moment it's been a lot of 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., but bedtimes. I say bedtimes, morning times, and then when you've got to be up and back at work for 8:45, it's not the most easy. And then sometimes you find yourself falling asleep in the toilet. And a lot of other things that you don't really
at the wheel.
That hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it will if I don't sort myself out. But yeah, it can be hard work, and I think for anyone who's looking to start, you want to start off small and then work your way into it. Don't commit to something you're not willing to work for.
Don't commit to dailies straight away because
only a crazy person would do that straight off the bat.
Yeah. Well, is that what you did?
Yeah.
Do you do dailies now? Yeah.
It's been daily ever since apart from the odd day here and there, it's been daily ever since I started in October 2015. So closing in on 500 episodes now, which is mad. Bearing in mind I've not been doing it that long.
See, my wife, I do 2 or 3 a week, and she goes mental. I don't know, she'd kill me if I did dailies.
I think I'd get in trouble if I was in the house more than I am now. At least this way I'm out of the way in the garage. I'm not causing any mischief.
Have you got a man cave?
Yeah, I'm in my garage now. For some reason, I've got my studio lighting on now.
The studio.
Which is completely unnecessary because I'm not filming anything. But yeah, I'm sat at my little desk in front of my little green screen in my garage at the moment, keeping myself to myself out of the way.
It's probably the best you kept it that way, to be honest, keeping yourself to yourself.
We had a room, and I was going to do the same. I was going to set it all up, and then my wife got pregnant, and now it's got a cot in it. So that's been ruined.
It would make a rather interesting sort of setting for an episode.
Get rid of the cot and get a cabin bed with a desk underneath. Problem solved. Stick a baby up above the desk.
Remember cabin
always
beds.
Thinking.
See, Kev's already a dad, so he's giving you perfect advice.
Right.
See, for the listeners that aren't perhaps aware, this is your first child, isn't it, Bood?
Yeah,
so,
I've waited long enough. Yeah.
So we should probably congratulate you or something like that. When is it due?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I believe you've told me anyway, but
about 6 weeks. She's due in March.
So has the bum quivering started in your end? As in, like, what am I going to do with this?
I'm not sure you understand how babies come out.
I do.
The bum quivering. Yeah.
I meant quivering like a shitting dog.
Nah, I'll be honest. No, I'm all right. I think I'm 38, and I just feel like I've got to that age now where I don't do anything. I don't go out or anything. I'm ready to be a dad, and I just feel, I'm ready. It's not scary. I think I'd be scared if I was 25 or 28, but no, I'm fine.
Good.
Looking forward to it.
Well, do you know the sex or?
Yeah, boy.
So you've got another addict to sort of initiate once it's born, then.
Yeah. Got to get him into United, hopefully. I tried with my nephew, and he's having none of it. He's not interested in football one bit. So hopefully my son will be.
Some people are such wastes of space, aren't they?
So have you not got kids, Matt? Are you not having any?
Not at this point, no. Me and the wife have discussed it, and it's a case of until we're both ready, it ain't happening.
Do you want to borrow a couple?
No, you can keep them. It's fine.
I've got plenty to share around.
How many kids have you got, Kev?
2.5. Two of mine. One's a stepson.
Right.
But so lots of kids. If anyone ever wants to borrow a kid, just send me a tweet or something. I'll stick one in the post to you.
Brilliant.
You might need to be CRB checked though, just for like this day and age.
Which one you want, really?
I can't believe this podcast is slowly becoming an auctioneer.
Yeah, for his children.
Oh dear. Right. Well, that probably brings it round to the end, and a good point to stop before Kev actually gets some offers on his children.
I've already got emails coming in, so I need to deal with
these. Brilliant.
Right. Well,
it's been good.
No, I've enjoyed it. It's been a good laugh. Right. I'm gonna thank both Kev and Bood for sharing their time with me, and it's been a great chat. So
yeah, thanks for having me.
If you've enjoyed this episode of #NowTo, then please tick the like button, share and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and go and check Bood's stuff out. Actually, that's a point. I should probably let you plug your own stuff, Bood, rather than me do it for you. Where can people find you, and what are you doing at the moment?
I've got a series called Bood in the Hood with Huddersfield Town. My channel's BoodFM, YouTube. It's awesome, honestly. So yeah, check it out. I'm sure he's going to put a description down below.
I will do.
Put it in the description. Yeah,
I will do.
Yeah.
And Kev, where can people find you?
We're on a great European run, by the way. European run.
Spoilers, mate. Spoilers.
Awesome.
Give people a reason to watch it.
double live com Wednesday.
And Kev, where can people find you if they haven't already found you?
Go onto any search engine and type in the word Lollujo, Lollujo. You'll find all manner of goodies that I've put out there into the world of the internet. Take your pick and You'll enjoy all of them. They're all great.
I'll put the dedicated email address for child rental in the description as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Okay, right. Well, it's goodbye from Kev.
Toodle pip.
It's goodbye from Bood.
See you later.
And it's goodbye from me. Adios, folks.